My 39F son, 18M, is not helpful. I am a single mom, 39F, with 2 kids. My eldest, 18M, is working part-time. Which I also don't know if true, but refuses to help with house chores or contribution towards rent and bills. I still pay all house bills including his phone bills, cook, clean with no contributions from him. He was kicked out of college for no attendance and vaping and has no maths GCSE and A4 English GCSE. I feel frustrated as I'm struggling with him wanting to be an adult, as in going out and not coming back for 2/3 days and not saying where he is. When I'll ask him to do something, even simple things i.e. collecting packages, he just says no or he is not available. When I told him I feel disrespected and can't live with him if he continues, he says, "Kick me out then, I don't care." This relationship really affecting me and don't know what to do. Any help or suggestions? What are my legal rights even if I kick him out? I'm suffering from a guilty conscience. Kick me out then, I don't care. He's right. That's the only solution. Legally you can kick him out. Sue, give him 30 days to find a new place to live. And stick to it. Right on my first half of reading I see you need to stop paying for the phone. Stop doing his laundry, and when food happens on your schedule, if he's not present for dinner, ECT too bad. Once the complaining begins to start about the phone, just respond with "I am not available, no." The free ride has enabled his brain into thinking it's all just going to fall in his lap. Stop enabling the ability to keep getting by without any return effort. I understand now why my mom was trying so hard to train me when I was younger. He's not gonna get better. He's exactly as you raised him. Sorry, Op. Having a full-size man who is not helpful sounds like a difficult thing to have around. It sucks when it's a little kid who doesn't know how to pick it up after himself. Once it's a full-size adult man who doesn't respect you, it can feel dangerous. You complained about legitimate issues with your son, but he is the one who said, "If you don't like it, kick me out." Simply, why don't you? There are some big flags here. He's disappearing for days at a time and you have no idea where he is. He was kicked out of school. What were the consequences he faced at home for this? 40M thinking of giving ultimatum to my 40F wife. I'm thinking of giving an ultimatum to tell my wife to choose me or her mother. Almost 4 years ago my father-in-law passed away. My mother-in-law has been sleeping on my living room couch and staying with us since then. I am trying to stay engaged with our relationship and maintain happiness, but it's increasingly difficult. My wife is an only child and has always been around her parents. We lived with them for a few years as well when we were younger. I am just at a point where I'm very frustrated. Every vacation day or day trip we take with the kids, her mother is along with us. I don't have much of a relationship with my wife at this point. They sit in the living room, watch shows and go to bed whenever. I have spoken to my wife about how I feel and she doesn't want to create an issue between them. Ready for the cherry on top? My mother-in-law owns a house which she can stay in 2 km away from here. I'm not saying don't see her, but maybe not 24/7? Do it. Your marriage is hanging by a thread. This may end it, but inaction 100% will. Your mother-in-law should know better, she had a marriage. If this was the other way round, Reddit would be saying that you don't have a mother-in-law problem. You have a wife problem, and they'd be absolutely correct in this situation. Rift or no rift, your wife needs to sort this out. Sleeping on a couch for 4 years is frankly ridiculous, when there's a perfectly fine home just up the road. I don't think it's unreasonable to ask for her to spend at least a few nights a week at home, even if your wife stays with her at first to get her settled in. Don't give the ultimatum unless you are willing to divorce your wife over this. Mother has attachment issues being a widow and uses her daughter in a therapeutic way. She needs therapy and maybe some pets or something to help. Ask your wife to find her a class or senior center and make new friends before pushing her out. 4 years? That's excessive. Is the ultimatum mom leaves or I do? I can't believe you've dealt with this for that long. Marriages have to be put first in your list of properties or they will fail. If she cannot do that, she isn't a good wife. I, 28F, don't like the ring my fiancé, 35M, proposed with. Me and my partner have been dating for 2 years and have gotten engaged this past weekend. I love him to death and would say yes if he proposed with a pebble penguin style. And I said yes, but the ring is not my style. It's a heart-shaped diamond with lots of smaller diamonds surrounding in a heart shape. It's pretty, but it's not at all what I said I wanted. I told him I liked round diamond shapes and preferred a simple ring. I think I might be having a hard time adjusting to what I wanted versus the actual ring. One thing that bugs me is that he had a different ring originally, something my style, but his mom thought he got ripped off, too much money, and he got the ring now in a set with a wedding band. How do I approach this? Has anyone gone through this before? I don't want to appear ungrateful because I love him so much. I don't want him to feel bad because I know proposing is difficult enough. I don't want to crush him by telling him I don't like the rain. You just need to tell him. Honestly, it sounds like his mom interfered. Is she normally like that? Controlling and opinionated? Does she normally call the shots with him? And does he normally listen? Because that would be a pretty big red flag for me. I'd be willing to bet she picked out this ring. You just need to tell him that you love him and you're excited to marry him, that this ring is not your style and you would like to go with him to exchange it for something else. If he has a problem with you, wanting some input on a ring that you're supposed to wear for the rest of your life, then that's something you really need to think about. Even if his mom felt like he got ripped off, why didn't he get a different ring in the same style? Being 35 and letting his mother tell him to take back a ring he paid for is wild. Ask him why his mom's opinion mattered more than yours and if that's going to be a regular thing. That will get the conversation started. Heart-shaped diamond? Oof, I'm so sorry. A lot of jewelers will make an exchange. You can't allow yourself to be seen wearing a heart-shaped diamond. If you told him what you preferred and he still went out of his way to not do that, then it's not ungrateful to mention this isn't what you wanted. It's not even about the money, it's about what you want to wear on your finger for the rest of your life hopefully. Bring it up sooner than later so it can still be exchanged and not a week before the wedding. Just tell him you appreciate the gesture, but why did he get you something specifically you didn't ask for? His answer will tell you everything, whether it was a clueless mistake or an intentional error. I'd ask for the original ring if it was my style. Mom had her engagement ring already. She shouldn't get to control your ring too. My 26F boyfriend, 27M, destroyed his laptop because of a game. How do I navigate this? My BF, who'll call Jason, and I have been dating for a little over a year now. He has always been the most amazing and kindest person that I've ever met. When we first met, he had told me that he had a short fuse, but I don't think I've ever seen him truly angry before. Even in arguments, he never yells and always keeps his cool. Well, that was until around a week ago. I was over at his place watching TV, and he was upstairs on his laptop playing a game when all of a sudden I heard a large crash coming from his room, followed by a, "Fuck me." I immediately ran up to see what was wrong. And that was when I saw the laptop destroyed on the ground and him just sitting on his chair holding his face in frustration. When I asked what had happened and if he was okay, he told me that it was all good and that he just got annoyed at something that happened in the game, and he just lost his cool. He apologized to me for making me worry and once again reassured me that everything was all right. He told me that it was an old piece of shit anyway and that he wanted to get a new one for a while now. I asked to help clean up the mess, but he told me that he got it and that was that. The next day, he took me out to eat as another apology for losing his cool and making me worry, and around 3 days later, he got himself a new laptop like he said he would. He has been his normal, calm self ever since, but that night is still on my mind. Like I said, I have never seen Jason this angry before, and his first outburst really stayed with me. What do you guys think? I might just be overthinking things? Have you ever had something like this happen before? Edit. Thank you to anyone who took the time to respond to this post. I most definitely won't be leaving him over this. I want to know if the game was the only thing that set him off edge, though. If he has anything that's been making him agitated, I want him to be able to tell them to me, so I'll be having a meaningful conversation with him about this. Again, thank you for the responses. I need to know what game it was. One incident a pattern does not make, and you've said there's sufficient evidence for him realizing the negative effect it had for you and acknowledging that and taking steps to apologize. So maybe you could view this solitary moment as a learning moment for him and hope he continues to do better in future. I'm focusing on what you posted about, and I understand other, solo incidents, that other people experience are enough to warrant a different response. 1 year is not enough time to know someone well. Our issues don't show until conflict or challenges occur. Stress brings about a person's true character. That being said, 2 people can rage over games but not necessarily have problems in real life. It's like people can get really angry while driving but they can also be chill in their daily life. 3 you should observe how he behaves when when real issues in life come about. See how he deals with that. I'm older, but I also used to break things when I got angry. They were usually my things, but once or twice they were my partner's. Breaking my things was not okay. Breaking my partner's things was beyond not okay. I went to therapy. I read a pretty helpful book on anger. And, to be clear, I used to dislike both the thought of therapy and self-help books. Until both actually helped. Anger is going to happen. It's how we act on anger that we have control over. I think you sound like a wonderful, supportive person. Your boyfriend has anger issues. Now, is he gonna put on his big boy pants and actually work on them? You should help him to get to that place. He sounds like he will listen to you about this. Over a game? To be honest, he's probably learned his lesson. Anger in young men is not uncommon, unfortunately. I'm not saying it's okay, but take the run. Answers you're going to get with a pinch of salt.